Okay, let's talk about the cross in a little bit more detail. We've done a 60-second video on the whys and wherefores of the cross. Now let's look a little bit more technically into it. So again, we want to adopt our perfect stance. In fact, before I get to the stance, let me just clarify that this is the way I do it. This is the way that I've learned over 20 odd years of doing this works best for me. I understand you may have been taught differently. I understand different people do it in different ways. So I'm giving you my perspective on what I think a cross should be. If you take the poignant points out of that and add your own style into it, it should end up perfect. Okay, so the cross. We're in this stance now that we've been talking about, left foot forward. What you'll see a lot on with your stance, and if you catch yourself or you get the chance that you're in the bathroom at home and you're looking in the mirror, you'll find your back foot might turn out, which is breaking our little chain of motion. Okay, we want to have to turn the foot as least as possible to generate the power. Okay, so ideally, we want both of our feet, as well as we can, to be pointing towards our opponent. Okay, there will be some slight variation, and I'm sure throughout the video, as I don't catch myself, my foot will slip out to the right. Okay, it's just something to be aware of. And if you can start, again, working on that while we've got time, now, while we're in these tricky times, it's a good time to fix all these small faults. And I'll be working on that myself at home. I know my foot tends to flare out. Okay, so try and have your foot pointing almost in line with your front foot, so they're almost parallel, and pointing at your target where possible. First point. Okay, so if you've watched the jab video, the mechanics of the cross from the upper body and arm perspective, I'm not going to use my lower body or my hips for now, are exactly the same. I'm looking to push that hand out straight from my chin. The same elastic band is attached into my cheekbone and my thumbnail, okay? So I want to push the hand out straight, and at the last minute I want to make that twist. Thumb pointing downwards, thumb down for power, okay? Get the thumb down, it turns my shoulder, it pulls my shoulder up, which helps my chin be protected, and it also gets these two big knuckles, which is what we want to make contact with, protruding, okay? So they're going to be the most likely points to make impact. So from here I go straight, and I twist at the last minute. I untwist and it comes back the same way that it left. Making sure you're hugging your ribs with your elbows all the time. Here. So now I've started to turn my feet a little bit, and look, already my foot's pointing outwards. This was the point I was trying to make. We all do it, okay? So we're trying to fix that. Here, feet pointing in the same direction. Believe it or not, when I throw a cross, I aim to make myself shorter. What, I hear you say? Any shorter and you'll disappear. Okay, but in order to get power, I want to drive that weight forward and down. The common mistake is we reach. We come up on our toe, we make ourselves vulnerable at the chin, and we're losing power in that. We're not twisting, we're extending forward. And if the chin gets too far forward, that's when if you get clocked on it, you're going to fall over. Okay, so from here, what I'm looking to do is, as I turn now, I start the punch with my foot. So my foot's going to start to turn. That's creating my knee turn and my hip turn. That's where all the power's coming from. The minute I do this and then lift my elbow, I've broken that chain. Okay, what I want to do is the chain to work in one motion, so we're all power is going in the same direction. If I kink that chain, I'm going to lose a little bit of power. Again, if I turn my hand too early, I'm going to be pushing, not punching. Okay, so from here, foot turns. So what we want to do is get all the body moving in the same direction without any flaws. If you've ever seen the golfers or ever watched a golfer or played golf, you notice how much power comes from that back leg. This is my golf swing, that's why I'm so bad. But it's not my swing you should be looking at, it's my back foot. Look, it's turning the hip, that's what's driving the ball. And a right hand is not that much different to that. So from here, I start to turn my foot. See, I've got that motion. If it's out here, I have to turn it a long way to get it to the point where I want it to point to. The quicker it is, and my heel must be off the ground. Okay, if I'm trying to turn my foot, my heel on the ground, it's friction. Okay, so it's going to be harder to create the energy that I want. Okay, so from here, drive that foot will turn the knee will turn the hip, and the arm just delivers the shot. From here, I'm going to sink my weight down a little bit and drive forward. My chin will never pass my front leg. Here, I'm turned through now. Left hand's protecting my face, thumb's pointing downwards, knuckles are prominent, chin is behind the shoulder. From here, boom, boom. Getting that nice hip turn. It doesn't have to be spectacularly powerful. I'm not leaning back, throwing that hand forward. The minute I do this, my opponent knows what's coming. So I've got to be careful with the telegraph. Okay, I don't need that power if the timing's right. Here, twist. My foot's not too bad. Twist. And then if I want to throw it to the body, all I simply do is bend my knees as I throw. Mechanics remain exactly the same, I just sit down on it a little bit. But we'll talk about body punching in later videos. It is my favourite thing to do.